How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with another episode of our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today we have UFC Fight Night Nunes versus Pena 2. A huge fight in our bantamweight division between Amanda Nunes and Julianna Pena. It is a big one, especially considering I believe our current champion is on hiatus. If I'm correct? Yeah, Aspen Ladd's on hiatus. And then we do have Lara Procopio, our interim bantamweight champion, who's facing off with Marina Moknatkina. She's defending the title against her soon. But we have Nunes and Pena going at it here in our main events. That should be a good one. Also got Lucy Pudilova, Molly McCann, Michael McDonald, Kyler Phillips, Jalen Turner. A pretty good card on hand. Our next episode is going to be our last one for a while. It is UFC 308, Jones versus Overeem. As a reminder, I am going to be taking a 2 to 3 week break with the UFC save after 308, just to give it some time to breathe, give some time to people to catch up on the save perhaps. But yeah, just a little bit of a break for the UFC save, but the W3 save will keep on going. The football manager stuff, tennis manager, all that good stuff, and whatever I choose to play in the near future. All that's going to stick around as well. But let's get right to it, huh? UFC Fight Night Nunes versus Pena. Let's take a look at those rankings. Nothing going on at heavyweight. Agnayev moving up to number 17 after beating Deron Winn, who moves down to 23. Super middleweight, nothing going on. That tournament is still ongoing, the Super Middleweight Grand Prix. Nothing at middleweight. Welterweight, nothing going on. Super lightweight, Yancy Medeiros enters the rankings at number 15. At lightweight, nothing going on. Really, Charles Oliveira into the top 10. Featherweight, nothing going on. Bantamweight, we have our boy Kikeru Fuma still there at number 4. Dominic Cruz down to number 10. We also did have Tony Gravely test positive for PEDs after his win over Soo-Chul Kim, so he is out for a year or so. Mighty Mouse back in the rankings at 23 after his win last time out. Leah McCourt up to number 8. Love to see that. Caitlin Vieira moves down a little bit. Nothing at flyweight. And then at strawweight, Itsuki Harada only up to number 13. And Zhang right behind her at 14. Interesting. So for whatever reason, the rankings not being very kind to Itsuki Harada. Interesting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this fight card. Nunes versus Pena. Once again, Jones versus Overeem. Final episode for a while, so be sure to stay tuned. We'll call it the season finale. Since it's going to be the last fight card in December of 2024. We'll also go ahead and simulate forward just so we can see, like, you know, the fighter of the year and all that stuff after that pay-per-view. But let's get into it. Nunes versus Pena in Oklahoma. Starting off with Paddy the Baddie Pimblett taking on Magomedov. Oh god, anyone fighting a Magomed of any kind is always in danger, but not Paddy the Baddie. Split decision over Magomedov here today. Yusuf Raisov taking on Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Alexander has not had a very good save for whatever reason. His success has been pretty much non-existent, honestly. He lost the title right away to Max Holloway. Lost to Brian Ortega for the interim featherweight title. Got one win back, 3 straight losses, and then he's won 3 out of his last 4, but that was a stint in WEC. This is his first fight back to the UFC in a while. Back in the featherweight division, and he loses right away to Yusuf Raisov. It's not looking like it's going to be on the cards for Alexander Volkanovski. They probably did not like him very much, whoever made the mod for this save, but I mean, clearly he's amazing, like in real life, so do not take it to heart if you're watching this, Volkanovski. Bekzad Abdurakhmanov taking on Mateusz Legierski, and it's Legierski getting the TKO win 1.5 minutes into the first round. Jack Marshman taking on Luan Chagas. Man out of Brazil, the favorite, and Chagas gets the win. Fantastic fight, by the way. 21st win of his career. Love to see that. Ahmed Usman, not a very good fighter, by the way. Miguel Baeza taking on Alan Johnston. The Scot gets the win over Caramel Thunder Miguel Baeza via unanimous decision. Tommy King taking on Beslan Ushukov. Beslan Ushukov. Is this his UFC debut? It sure is. Straight out of ACA, 24-5, and Ushukov getting the win via arm triangle here today. A huge favorite, and he gets it done. Carl Baby K. Roberson taking on Mike Shipman. In the 185 division, Carl, big favorite, Carl Baby K getting the win via unanimous decision here today. Andrei Koshkin taking on Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think Nzechukwu just fought last week. And he gets the win here as well over Andrei Koshkin, the 13th win of his career. Jordan Johnson taking on Corey Hendricks in the light heavyweight division. I want to say both guys are young, but they're both 36 years old. Corey Hendricks getting the win 29 seconds into round number 2. Adam Yandiev taking on KB Bular in the light heavyweight division, and it's KB getting the win, submission victory in round number 2. Alexandra Pantoja taking on Bokang Masunyane in the flyweight division. Bokang, pretty interesting fight up for him, but it's Masunyane who gets the win via TKO. Pantoja, that's the 10th loss of his career. That is pretty insane. Marcin Held taking on Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner, we just saw get a pretty big win in real life on the pay-per-view of the last one. Main card fight here, Jalen Turner 16-7, Marcin Held 36-9, and it is Jalen Turner knocking out Marcin Held. Round 3, knockout, getting it done over the Polish fighter. Kyler Matrix Phillips taking on Patricio Pitbull. This guy fights out of the gym that I used to train at, actually, in Surprise, Arizona. Shout out to Two Knuckle Sports. Patricio Pitbull, 3-5 since joining the UFC, still ranked at number 12 in the division. Kyler Phillips, 10-2, ranked at number 18. Looking for a big win over a former Bellator champion, and he gets it. Kyler Phillips, 1.5 minutes into round number 1, able to get it done. Love to see it, and he's calling out Sadiq Yusuf. Michael Mayday McDonald taking on Yadong Song, former interim champion in Yadong Song, who's lost 2 straight. So kind of needing to get it going. Michael McDonald, on the other hand, has fought for the interim title, has lost. Actually, he fought for the real title and lost, and then lost again to Thomas Almeida. And it's Michael McDonald getting the win via TKO very early on in round number 1. That's a big win for Mayday. Lucy Bullet Pudilova taking on Meatball Molly McCann. Title shot is actually on the line here. Pudilova is able to beat Molly McCann. She'll be next for Valerie Lareta. Valerie Lareta, of course, in real life, just signed for WWE. Her MMA days are over. Sad to see, I guess, but she probably just doesn't have it in her anymore for MMA, you know, just wants to make some easy money. Not to say that, you know, pro wrestling, WWE is easy, but certainly not getting beaten up for real. Co-main event, Lucy Pudilova and Meatball Molly McCann. Molly McCann TKOs Lucy Pudilova in our co-main events. Interesting to see what happens in flyweight now that we don't have a clear-cut number 1 contender. As we make our way to the the main event of the evening. In the bantamweight division, of course, former champion of 2 divisions, Amanda Nunes, Aspen Ladd, Macy Chiasson, Julianna Pena, Felicia Spencer. She's beaten them all except for Aspen Ladd. She beat her. That was her first defense, actually, for the bantamweight title, was Aspen Ladd. Julianna Pena, on the other hand, former interim champion, you can see there, and lost to Amanda Nunes, lost to Aspen Ladd. Got a big win over GDR, however, and now it is our main events in the bantamweight division. Let's get it going. Remember, 4 title fights on that pay-per-view card. That's going to be quite a long one, but should be pretty good. Also, the end of 2024, the season finale for the UFC save, we will call it. 2 fighters engage. Right hook gets blocked, landing a leg kick. Pair of jabs in the exchange. 1-2, can't land. Coming together to strike, misses with the right hand. Nunes collects with the left. Neither fighter really landing too much here. Early here in the fight. 5-round possible fight. It's just so insane to see, like, Pena's had such a, you know, eventful career, especially considering in this save, and she's only had 18 total fights. Nunes, this will be her 31st fight of her career. Pena with a powerful straight route. She is out. Julianna Pena just knocked out Amanda Nunes. I repeat, Julianna Pena just knocked out Amanda Nunes. That is 2 straight losses for Nunes. That's the first time in her career, period, that has happened. That is insane. I mean, maybe early on in her career, but that is insane. What a win for Julianna Pena. We're going to see this fight again pretty soon. You know, now that I think about it, Nunes versus Pena 2, this is going to get quite a couple of views. Probably a couple people who were expecting to maybe see footage for the fight or something like that. But if you're just, you know, interested, this is a game called WMMA 5. It's essentially a booking simulator for MMA promotions. You can become essentially Dana White, book all the fights, sign all the fighters. It's a pretty cool game. I'd recommend you check it out if you have not done so already. So take away that dislike button. This is not the real fights, which is supposed to happen in about 2 weeks time, and it's probably going to release like right before then. So that's pretty interesting. Kind of a happenstance, honestly. That's just the way that it was planned. But yeah, Julianna Pena knocking out Amanda Nunes. We'll see if this happens in real life and on the pay-per-view. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like Amanda Nunes is going to come a lot more prepared, but crazier things have happened, and she wants to fight Liana Jojua instead of fight for the title. She's probably going to be fighting for the title next after knocking out the women's GOAT. But 5,000 in attendance in Oklahoma, commercial rating of 1 million. No popularity changes. We did have that fantastic fight between Jalen and Marcin Held, but we also had that fantastic fight between Chagas and Marshman, who will get 100K each. We also have Michael McDonald, Kyler Phillips, Masunyane getting 100K. We've got Legierski getting 100K, and that is all. Still made a nice little profit. Love to see it. Highest paid fighters on the night. Michael McDonald takes home $764,000. Amanda Nunes, Marcin Held, Kyler Phillips, Julianna Pena, the winner in the main event, only taking home about $120,000. Not very nice. But that's going to do it. Next time I'll see you guys will be for UFC 308. As a reminder, once again, we'll be taking a break after that pay-per-view, but I appreciate you guys as always. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. A lot more WMMA 5 videos coming out in the near future, particularly for the W3 series, since I will be taking a break, like I said, for this save. But yeah, everything else that I will do as well. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm AZPlayo21, and I will see you guys at the fights.